Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, everybody. Today we're gonna talk about new generations. So I have with me to talk about this topic Warley and Luana. And if you doesn't know me, my name is Epaminondas Sá. I'm host here on TNT from Brasilia, 30 years old. And yeah, that's me. But Luana, please, could you introduce yourself for us?
Yes, I'm Luana Oliveira. I live in Lisbon. I am a lawyer. Today is a very stressful day, not because the work, because I slept very bad and I dreamed that I killed some people. I did not understand this. Um, I like my profession, but some days I would like to quit. I believe is it it's normal for in any profession. Um, on my free times, I like to travel. I like to practice exercise, to go to the beach, stay with friends, drink coffee. I love drink coffee with friends. I love bakery. And that's all for today about me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And you, Ali, let me know about you.
Hey guys, good morning. My name is Wally. I'm 24 years old. I live in Recife, Pernambuco. I work as a front-end developer. I work with IT. And I'm also a Spanish and English host here on Talk and Talk. And nowadays I'm focused a lot in improve and develop my English skills.
Pretty good. Thank you so much. And I have to do the same, but I'm a little bit lazy to do that. But maybe in the future, maybe. Uh, my Duolingo is here. Listen me. Um, let's talk about the topic. The number one is how do you think life is different from the new generation compared to the older generation? I'm talking here about new generation like the people, the teenager now and the people above maybe 20, maybe. So the people, the new people here. So what do you think is different from the new generation, the young person nowadays, and the older generation? What do you think? What is different? Um, Luana, let me know. You have a daughter, so you understand very well about.
Yes. Uh, it's completely different. I believe the knowledge that they have nowadays it's huge. Uh, Teenager nowadays has more knowledge than scientists in the past, for example. And in my case, I believe my daughter has the same behavior than me. I think if I born in this generation, I will be terrible. I can be terrible. Um, but I think that the knowledge they know everything about everything. They have um, computer, phones, and it's sometimes they don't think about subjects because a lot of people send information and put inside the head of them. And I think the knowledge, and it can be good or very bad.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think about information maybe because we have a lot of information nowadays. good information and bad information and and fake news and good things to research. So, but it's totally different. It's totally different. But at the same time, my perspective. At the same time, I think it's interesting because if you ask some question about I don't know, but a different fruit, for example, or vegetables. I don't know in English, but if you ask some teenager nowadays about what is, let me think here, habanich. Maybe this guy doesn't know what is a habanich. So it's interesting to think because nowadays the people have more information about a lot of things, but about other things no nothing, so it's interesting to think about. But I think the technology is a bigger difference, I think. So yeah, but Wally, let me know, you work from technology and you are watching this kind of difference. Let me know what you think about the difference and let me know.
Yeah, before that, about the point that you mentioned, I think it's like a paradox because we have more information and we have a lot of information, but it's hard to filter that information. So it's kind of strange that maybe some teenager doesn't have about what is Habanero, for example. But yeah, we have a lot of information, but at the same time, it's hard to filter that and understand a lot of things and connect the dots, I guess. So in general, I think there is a lot of differences between the the generations. I think the life in general today is more like is more fast, is more technological driven. I think the older generation value more face-to-face communication, face-to-face interaction. And I think my generation focus a lot on a digital interaction and doesn't and they don't like a personal interaction, a real interaction, I guess, or a physical interaction in the main point, I guess. So yeah, I think that that is a lot of about a lot of topics, but I think that is a lot of difference about the generation. But I think these that I mentioned, they they are the mainly points, I guess.
Interesting, because you brought a very good point about the people around. For example, nowadays it's so common to see a lot of people, especially teenagers, that has no friends. How can I say? And to interacting in person, just
Yeah.
on online or talking on the smartphone. But as like Luana said, I love a bakery. We don't see that in new generations. This kind of meeting in some place and talk and the square. It's interesting to think because I think it changed a lot the way of the relationship. Maybe more superficial nowadays. I don't know, but for me, it's kind of that. Go ahead, Wale.
Yeah, I think that's it's another paradox because in general we have more opportunities to interact with people and to know more people with technology, but at the same time I think a lot of teenagers don't have friends and don't have this interaction. They don't use this kind of opportunities, I guess. I don't know, I think it's for me it's a little bit strange because we have more opportunity to do that, but we don't do that. I don't know why.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. So it's interesting to think because I grew up with my friends playing soccer on the street and on the, I don't know in English, but talking in the calçada and things like that. So nowadays we don't have this kind of thing, and I think that the relationship isn't strong like in the past because of that. We don't have this interaction in person, eye to eye, and things like that. So I think it's totally different, and I'm seeing that the people, the teenager in special, maybe are avoiding this kind of interaction, don't want to have this interaction in person. A lot of people here, I think, young people are avoiding this kind of interaction in person because I don't know, but maybe are losing this kind of ability to socialize. So crazy, crazy to think. Luana, your daughter has a lot of friends or not?
She has, but not a lot of friend. But the one thing that I realized that she she don't have friends for a long time. Like she change friends. If she change school, she change friends. If she change the place we live, she change friends. It's different because when I was teenager, I have friends since middle school, and that's the difference, I believe.
Yes, yes, I see the same. I see the same. Nowadays, the people are changing because it's easier. So,
Yeah,
oh, you are not a good friend. I will block you. So, and now I will search for other friend. So, it's interesting to think. Guys, let's skip for the number two. What are some big changes in technology that have happened in the last 20 years? Um, let's remember now because we have a lot of change because of the technology. But thinking about technology in the last years, then now, what's the big or that you remember the big difference, the big change from technology? Wale, let me know.
I don't know in that time exactly, 20 years, but I guess smartphones and social medias, the, this combination, I think it was very important, a very important change on technology and with people interaction, I guess. And I think it's a really big difference between the generations also because this kind of use of smartphone that we have in daily activities in your daily life, it's really different, I guess. We use smartphone as a part of our body in general, so it's pretty different. And this kind of communication interaction between people on social medias, I think it was another point that changed it a lot, I guess. But yeah, a lot of things changed. Like the use of streaming servers and shopping online, I guess. But yeah, I think the many points about smartphone and social media.
Yeah, for sure. The TV, because I was thinking here, I doesn't watch TV, and I don't know how to say that, but when I'm turn on my TV, I will watch, I don't know, YouTube on my TV, not
Exactly.
the channels, the common channels that it's interesting to think. It's totally different. The information you said about the smartphone as like a part of our body, and I totally agree because I use my cell phone close to me or in my hand maybe all day. So crazy, crazy. Please?
And yeah, interesting thing about the TV, for example, it's about, for example, I don't watch TV anymore. In general, the regular channels and stuff like that. And I don't see news on TV. I just see news in the majority of time on Twitter, for example. And I think a lot of people do that. It's it's interesting because it's another way to see news and to get information, but it's a hard one also because there are a lot of fake news and a lot of information, a lot of bad information also. But I think it's a really change, I guess, about to see news on TV and on social media, for example.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with you, and I do the same. I do the same. And you, Luana, let me know what do you think.
I am 40 years old, that's why I can tell a lot of examples. For example, first time I lived here in Portugal, has no internet, has no smartphone. I use it to call to my mom almost every Sunday at the public phone, and a lot of people were waiting to use the phone as well and listen all conversation. um, I remember the first time I have a phone with camera, for example, and when I start to use the computer, because that time I had a computer but has no internet because internet was so expensive and was like we call discada because it take long time to connect internet, and we use MSN and Orkut. Was so funny. Now I can talk to my mom almost face to face by phone, by video call. And that time, once a week, twice a month, was very hard to live abroad. But now it's so easy because you can talk and see the face. Um, that's the big difference for me.
Yeah, yeah. Good time about
Yes, but
Orkut and things like that.
as Wale said, now seems like that the time passed so fast, and till now that promise I I made here, I keep use my phone after 9 p.m. I Yesterday I slept upset with me because
It's
this.
hard. It's hard. It's hard to control. And it's interesting talking about. I think the cell phone, the smartphone, is the biggest difference in smartphone and internet, of course, and social media. Because if you think about the smartphone is killing almost all device, for example, TV or camera or the calculator or so I don't know in English the name, but we don't use this kind of thing anymore. A lot of things, and so music, the way that we listen to music is totally different from some years ago. Radio, so it's crazy. It's crazy. Video game, a lot of things. So the smartphone is kind of killing a lot of device that it was so usual in the past, but nowadays it's not. It's interesting to think about. Yeah, crazy, crazy. But to be honest, I'm a little bit afraid about the future because we use a lot, and I don't know what will happen because of that. But the next captures. Go ahead, please.
I'm afraid that people will marry with a smartphone in the future.
With AI, it's
Seriously.
totally possible, right? With AI, it's totally possible.
Yeah, yeah. So It's
It's
crazy,
crazy.
crazy, guys, to think about this kind of thing. You said about public telephone. Tel yeah, maybe I don't know, but it was interesting because some years ago, if I want to talk to my grandmother, I I would call to the public telephone and ask to call my grandma in that house, and I
Yeah,
it's totally crazy.
was
Totally
funny
crazy.
because
Yeah.
when the phone ring, always has anyone to answer the call. Anybody will answer the call for sure. And the child that play in the street loved to answer the phone.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
I had one cell here close to me, and when the public telephone ring, I run to there to answer the. It's a kind of competition. So who is answer?
Like
Crazy.
Big Brother, big phone.
Yeah, exactly like this, exactly like this. Oh, good to remember this kind of time. Let's think about the number three. How do you think the internet has changed the way we live and work? Kind of, we are saying here, but let's let's think more about. Wally, about the number three. Let me know what you think.
yeah, I think the many points about access to information. I think internet provides instant access to a lot of information and a lot of people in all the world. So it's kind of interesting how that works and how we can access a lot of information and build a lot of knowledge with internet. And yeah, in general, with that we can do a lot of interaction with people and collaboration online. For example, that's this meeting is just working with internet, so it's pretty amazing to be here and learn a new language, for example, with other people in different places. It's pretty amazing to see that. And yeah, I think that changed a lot about work also. Remote work is viable now with internet. So yeah, that is a lot of changes, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much. And you, Luana, the change about the way that we live and work. Let me know what you think.
Yes, it changed. Internet changed completely the way we work and live. For example, as like you, I have to use my phone all day long to work. Sometimes I get stressful because of that, but uh I can't work without my phone, for example. And I believe in the past I had a bakery. That's why I love baker. Uh, and I can work without my phone all day long. But for example, if I have a bakery today, I would like to use my phone to receive orders all day long, to answer clients, to answer people that I buy material to work. To be honest, I believe life before was uh, has more quality for sure than today. I think change. It's easier to work, but it lost the quality.
So interesting point. So interesting point you brought because, for example, me, I work by myself on the internet. Nowadays, I don't have customers, clients. in person, just on the internet. So it's easier to work, I think. So I'm in my home, in my room. I can organize my time and manage better my time. If I'm sick, for example, okay, I I don't do some things. If I'm okay, I do more. But at the same time, I'm kind of slave of this because I'm have to be free all day long to answer my customers. And if I think about the past, I would had some period of time that I enter in my job and I exited to my job and okay, finish it. So I think it's interesting to think about what you said because it's easier to work for me nowadays. But maybe because of this freedom, I'm more stressed and I don't know, but it's harder to work because of that. It's a kind of paradox, like Wally said. It's crazy to think we are freedom, but this kind of freedom because of this kind of freedom, we are becoming a slave of ourselves. So crazy.
It's a fake freedom. Fake freedom. For example, in the past, I had a bakery, but when the clients would like to buy a cake, for example, I want a cake for next working day. The people go to the bakery and ask in person. But if it is today, I had I would like to I need to use my phone because people will send me WhatsApp. That's the point. Completely
Yeah,
complex point.
yeah,
This part of this point about to mix your personal and professional time and life, it's pretty difficult because, for example, in this case of working from home, it's pretty complicated to balance your professional and personal life, or because all the day you are at home and you are working at the same place that you take a rest and you sleep and something like that. So it's pretty difficult to build that kind of motivation and that kind of discipline to divide these words in general. So yeah, it's freedom, but it's also complicated to do that.
yeah, for sure. We don't have barrier anymore. So in the same place that I work, I rest here, for example. So I think it's confused for my brain as well because it's hard. It's hard to manage. I have to be the personal training, but at the same time I have to be a son. I have to be the guy that clean my house and to cook. So it's totally different. In the past, I have to go to the that place and working. Okay, finish. And when I'm in my house, I'm just rest, enjoy my family, and okay. But now it's different. At the same time, I have to work and I am with my family. I doesn't care about my family because I'm working here. So crazy. But that's what we have now. Um, Guys, and let's think about the challenge because I think it's a kind of easier to get information, things like that. We have more options nowadays, but at the same times, what are some challenges that young people face today that older generation did not? Um, I will start, for example, I said about options. And I think because we have more options nowadays, we are more confused nowadays. So this it's one of challenge that I see that the new generations have to face. But let me know about you. Luana, let me know.
I was thinking about, and I I think that's it. A lot of options. It's not good. It's not so good, really. For because I'm a kind of person that I don't like to be, for example, a lot of shoes, a lot of bags. I don't like, because I like my life very practice, very simple. And today is very complicated. I don't know. I this question, it's not easy to answer. Maybe maybe Wale can answer better than me.
Yeah. Let's listen, Warley. What do you have to say about?
Yeah, I think important point about that it's related to social media, for example. I think nowadays we have more pressure to do a lot of things. I think a lot of people, mainly young people, I guess, do compares themselves a lot with other people. So, for example, Instagram is a real social media focus on image, and it's a visual social media, so it's hard to see how the life of people works on that, and the main point it's about, wow, the life of people is so incredible, it's so interesting, and I compare that with mine, and yeah, it's not the same. But in general, people just share the good points, the great points of their life. So it's difficult to do that. And so I think a lot of people don't have this idea of not comparing themselves with others. And yeah, in general, technology, uh, how can I say that, put us on near for others, but we have a lot of information that maybe we don't need, I guess. So yeah, it's hard to think about this kind of comparison about people, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I totally agree with you. And it's interesting to think because just one kind of social media build this kind of difference in the world. For example, Twitter is more texts than images, so it's different. On YouTube, long videos on YouTube, you have to be content. You have you have to study more, I think, or to create content. It's different the way that comparison or this kind of thing to admire some content. But on Instagram, the beautiful things has more likes. So and maybe false things has more likes. It's interesting to think about. And about this topic about challenge, I think that what you said, Wally, about the visual, I think we are building a big illusion for this, especially young people. And from my perception, the young people doesn't know what is the life, real life nowadays. So I think normally I have the perception that the young people doesn't understand that the life is hard. You have to work a lot. You have to study a lot. You have to put a lot of effort in your things, and it's not easy as like you see in the social media. So, and I think this kind of illusion are creating a lot of people that are frustrated so quickly, you know? and I have to answer my my gate. Please go ahead. Just a second, I return.
Okay. So I think we can go to the question number five, Luana, okay? It's okay for you?
Yes.
Yeah. So, how do you think social media affects the lives of young people today in general? About your Dora, maybe. What do you think?
Yes, as you said, I think comparison, it's the worst thing, I believe. Because they compare the body and the the life seems like a paradise for some. And my daughter, for example, she has a lot of follows on Instagram, in TikTok, and sometimes she says to me that uh, she has a lot of pressure to share new contents, because if she don't share new contents, she will lost the followers. And this pressure is very, very bad for. But now she is more dedicated to school, because she is in high school, and she's doing like a course, like a psychologist high school course, and she has a lot of homework to do. Thanks God for that. But I think that's the com comparison. Ai, palavra difícil. It's terrible.
Yeah, I think this point about the pressure and comparison about between the young people, it's the hardest point, I guess, because before they didn't have that, so it's complicated to see how likes and comments and interaction it's important for their lives, and it's a fake reality in general, I guess. So it's complicated. Think about this kind of importance that they do about this kind of point, I guess. But yeah, what do you think, Nicholas?
It's interesting because some some time ago I see that the sentence that we are the last generation that grow up without internet. So the new generation doesn't know how the life work without internet. So the way that we have had um our I forgot the word in English, but recompensas in the last time is totally
Rewards?
different. Yeah, thank you. We get our rewards in the when we was a young guys, young not because I'm young, but when we was a child. So it's totally different. Nowadays the people have more rewards about likes and comments in social media. For example, normally, especially young people, I not just the young people, but especially the young people go to the restaurant just to take pictures to post on Instagram, for example. If something in are so famous, a lot of people go there just to take photos, travel to, more to take photos than enjoy the place. So it's interesting to think because when I was a teenager, I was more um, focused on to enjoy my time. So I think it's important to build with this perspective because this kind of perspective shape my way to think about my life. But I think nowadays the people are growing up with other kind of perspective because of the social media, because these people are growing up using cell phones since so kids, 3 years, three 3 years old, 2 years old, and watching funny videos on YouTube. So it's different. The referencial, I don't know in English. So I think it's crazy, and it will become a big challenge and in the future and nowadays as well. I think that the way that the way that these people will see the life or are seeing the life is totally different because of the internet, because these people are growing up using cell phone, using social media, and building a different point of view because of that. So hard, hard. Um, what number we are? Number six?
Six
Six.
now.
Okay. So, what new jobs or careers do you see becoming popular because of the technology? Um, Wally, let me know. What do you think?
I think
Your
tech.
career?
Yeah, maybe. I think we have a lot of new jobs on technology in IT area. So in general, we have a lot of data nowadays. So I think a job related to data analyst, data scientist, I guess, uh, it will be high demand. I guess maybe it's nowadays a high demand, but I think this kind of job, maybe connected to cybersecurity. We have a lot of people on internet. We have all our data on internet, so we have a lot of problems with security. So I think this kind of cybersecurity job it's so important. Yeah, maybe I don't know. I think AI will change a lot of jobs, not replace, as a lot of people said, but I think that will change a lot of jobs and create new ones. So I think maybe there will be a lot of new jobs related to AI. I guess. Yeah, that's
Thank you. I totally agree with you. And you, Luana, what do you think about?
Uh, the first thing I'd like to say is today all professions, all professionals should be on internet. Um, all professions should be good in the thing that we are doing, but should be on Instagram. I should be lawyer and blogger. It's it's boring, really, because I would like to be a good lawyer and be respect because of that. But maybe someone that has no knowledge than me, but share a lot of contents, has more clients, has more people believing in them. But one profession that I can tell it's like now I have a guy to care about my Instagram, for example. This is a kind of a new profession. Um, and IT area, a lot of professions.
Yeah, and what I said about content creator, and that's exactly that, because as like Luana said, nowadays I think doesn't the most people doesn't care about your degree. These people want to know about your content on social media. So a lot of people, for example, I work as a personal training and I'm nutritionist student. I see a lot of profiles on the social media that's no has no degree and has a lot of followers and customers because of that, without degree, but because these people share content on social media. So crazy. Go ahead, Luna.
And about a person that has no personal training, has no nutritionist, and sell a lot of package to become the life very good, to become a I can't understand. These people don't receive some process, or I don't know. Or for example, they have do they have persons working on backstage? I don't understand. Yeah, this and more, more.
Eh, maybe the biggest. And interesting that normal the people doesn't know that she isn't a nutritionist, for example. And after to be famous, now she has people in the background to sign some things for them. But it's crazy to think because these people buy programs from them. And but the the main structure is it's important to share content. Even people that has no degree has customers because of that. So if you want to be a good professional, just to study technical things is not enough nowadays. So for the most part of the profession, the career. So it's interesting to think. And nowadays we have a more profession like YouTuber, TikToker, influencer, and profession that doesn't exist some years ago. And
Yeah,
nowadays the people, the young guys, the young girls dream to be a big influencer. So it's
yeah.
different nowadays. Um, Let me see other question here to finish. Um, okay. Number 10, I think it's good to finish. How can we prepare for the future with all the change happening in the world? There's a way to prepare or not? And if there's a way, how how can we prepare for the future? Wally, let me know what you think about.
I can say more about my area, but I think in general, we need to continuous learning and developing a lot of skills. I think it's the most important point to keep learning a lot of points and connect a lot of points. But I think another great point it's about to develop soft skills. I think skills like communication and teamwork and this kind of point. I think mainly communication. Uh, it's a really important skill to develop, and I think it's like underestimated for a lot of people. And I think it will be so important in the future because in the many point, AI and this kind of technology don't have this kind of emotional point and this kind of personal point that we human being have. So I think this kind of skills, not the technical skills, not just technical skills, it's so important. So yeah, I will focus on that. Maybe it's a good point, I guess.
Pretty good. I couldn't agree more. So thank you so much. And you, Luana, what do you think about?
I totally agree with Warley. Uh, but sometimes I prefer don't think a lot about that because it makes us anxious about the future. Um, Nowadays, I prefer to live one day at a day. And of course, keep study, keep working, um, uh, try to grow on social media because unfortunately it's so important. For example, last Saturday, I paid to go to podcast. Look, it's crazy. People pay to go to do podcasts because that's that's it. The people, my clients want to see me on podcast, because oh, my lawyer is like famous. She has followers. That's why sometimes I think just live my day and don't think about 1 year time. Let's see what has happened.
Yeah, yeah. And it's interesting because it's changing so quickly. So it's interesting to see. Um, from my perspective, I totally agree with you, Arley. I think it's important to 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 develop skills and hard skills as well. But soft skills, I think it's the most important thing, and to be a good communicator, it's so important nowadays with social media or not, because it's the power of the world. Maybe it's the most powerful thing in the world. You can start a war because of your words, uh, or finish the war, for example. So I think it's important to develop some skills like that, and to know how to solve deep questions. If you are a good guy, good girl in your career, and know more things, deep things, because my perspective is nowadays the people know more things, but in the superficial level. So if you go deeper inside your career, and your skills and your knowledge, I think it's important for to prepare for the future and learn more language. So this kind of thing. Guys, yeah, that's all for today. I really appreciate this conversation. Let me paste here the survey. Here, the survey, please evaluate this immersion and suggest me some topics for next immersion. We talked a lot today, and in the next immersion, we are discuss about, like, it's a kind of connection connected with this immersion. We are becoming we are becoming smarter because of a lot of information, or dumber because of a lot of information. So this is the topic for the next immersion. So you're more than
Interesting.
invited. Yeah, so interesting. You're more than invited to be with me next week, and it's all for today. Thank you so much. Take care, and bye bye.